What's going on, everybody? It's the Hook Cam back again with another draft class recap. Today, taking a look at the New York Football Giants. How did they do? What were their picks? What were their later picks? Because we all know where they went in the first round. And then, of course, not that anybody cares, but what do I think of it? Before we dive into this video, if you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to my channel, The Hook Cam. This is my first video I'm doing since I hit 2,000 subscribers. So first and foremost, thank you for those 2,000 people who hit that subscribe button. Absolutely insane that people want to listen to me. That's just mind-blowing, but I appreciate that. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. I have a lot of fun doing this, finally getting a little bit of pay for doing it, and I really appreciate the support I'm getting, because there's a lot of good people out there in this world. Sometimes we forget that. So I really do thank you, everybody, for doing that. With that being said, if you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, as well as hitting that subscribe button to Jackson Kruger Sports, that would mean the world to both of us. We are both on just a train of content, and we're just pumping it out left and right. It's what we're doing. We're having a lot of fun with it. And with that being said, let's dive into this New York Giants draft class. First and foremost, I love the pick of Andrew Thomas, tackle from Georgia. This dude is just a stud. He was my favorite tackle coming into this year's draft. I mean, this dude just mauls guys when we're talking running game, when we're talking inside zone, when we're talking power, double teams. Whatever you need this dude to do, he's going to do it, and he's just going to maul guys when he does it. I love it. I love his awareness on the field. I love his pass set. To me, he was the most pro-ready guy in this draft. And we look at this rep right here coming down. Gap is secured on that inside zone, going to work up to this backer right here. We're just going to erase him right out of the picture. I know it's an RPO. I know he got rid of the rock, but at the end of the day, this dude mauls people play in and play out. I mean, his pass pro looks silky smooth as butter. Working back, kicking back to a point, getting nose to nose with defensive ends who are rushing. This dude is just an absolute dream for an offensive line coach. I cannot wait to see this guy play for the Giants. I'm not even a Giants fan. I'm just so happy because it's going to give Daniel Jones a chance to thrive. And that, to me, was a huge theme in this draft, was the fact that Gettleman, in my eyes, really put some faith in Daniel Jones, which he has no reason not to. I made a video, and I'll link it right here, about Daniel Jones. And I personally think he's a good quarterback. I think he will be a good quarterback. But I think that he needs the help to get there. And adding tackles and adding offensive linemen is a great way to make that happen. They have serviceable skill guys, and serviceable doesn't mean top of the line, but it doesn't mean bad ones either. Saquon Barkley. We got Slayton, we got Golden Tate, Evan Ingram. There's a number of skill guys who I think can be serviceable and be above average football players for the Giants. And I think that they showed some real faith in Daniel Jones, and I appreciate that. There's no back and forth. There's no pitter patter with Gettleman. Nope, we're full steam ahead with Danny Jones and Saquon Barkley, and we're going to live and die by that. I respect that out of a GM. As many weird moves as that dude's made in the past, I respect that. And we're very interested to see how Joe Judge does in his first year as a head coach. Now moving on to their next pick, second round, 36 overall, we got Xavier McKinney, safety out of Alabama. A lot of guys had this dude going in the first round. I thought he was going to go in the first round. And he does a great, his closing speed's outstanding. Alabama played him everywhere, in the box, rushing the passer. I love his angle on a play like this, because a lot of times safeties will get torched, right? We got a skill guy out in open space, give him a little stutter step, cut this thing back inside and upfield. Nope, we squeeze inside out like that with Xavier McKinney. Great job in that situation. And then here, just staying with his man. And this is stuff that I really like from defensive backs. Ball's caught, but we're not done contesting this thing. Rip that thing out. You love seeing stuff like that out of defensive backs, and especially out of a guy like Xavier McKinney. And then he can also rush the passer. It is a phenomenal job. LSU loves to run this bunch stuff. Well, when that happens, you're going to bring some defensive backs closer. Take that chance with him. He's going to bend right around that edge of the tackle and make a play. I think this dude's going to be a good football player for the Giants, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Now, moving on to the next pick, third round, pick 99, Matt Pert out of Connecticut. And, I was looking at this kid before the draft, and I was like, I don't really see the draw. I'm kind of confused. And then I really kind of dove into the film that was available to me, and I saw this game against UCF. UCF, not a bad football team, 22nd in the nation. And we're going to work on an outside zone up at the top, and we're just going to take this dude and push him to the sidelines. And like time and time again, I saw Pert just make fundamentally good blocks. Now, in this situation, is he a little skinny with his base? Absolutely. There's a little skinny right here. I'd like to see a little bit more of a base. Feet are chugging. We're working this dude out of the picture. I love everything about it. Here's a quick little double team from him as well, fundamental on power. We only get the tail end of this thing. We're right here working on this power, but what I like about this, blocking here with our body and then working up and blocking that with our eyes, which we see right there, boom, and then we U them out. That's what they call this, is the U them out, right? Or U-turn. There's a number of different terms for it. But essentially, when a backer is coming into this gap with that much momentum, you just take him and you give him a little U-turn. And what your back's going to do is going to cut off of you and make you right. Really good play from him. That's a very high level technique wise from him. A little bit late on a twist here, and I definitely think his pass pro needs some work. And that's gonna happen when you have rookie tackles, guys going from the NFL, or excuse me, from college to the NFL. Andrew Thomas, I think, is an anomaly when it comes to how ready he is for pass pro in the NFL. That dude's just an absolute freak. But then you go and you pick up a dude like Pert, and I think he's gonna fit in very well with that Giants offensive line. Now moving on to this next pick, we got Darnay Holmes, cornerback at UCLA, and I'm not going to lie, here, I'm not a huge fan of this pick. Yes, did he have some good plays at UCLA? Absolutely. He had a great 40, definitely had some good plays, but at the end of the day, there's some situations like this, and I couldn't get the whole clip in because of I might be getting a little hot water with YouTube. Quick draw from Washington State, coming up the sidelines here with our back. Receiver is blocking Darnay Holmes, and where is he? He's not in the picture. Come up and make a play. This is the first time we see him. And I get that it's a draw. I get that you're trailing. But, dude, like, come up and make a play on this thing. And then we go and I guess we get a little bit of that tackle, but I just felt like there was more that could have been done. Right? And here we go again. We're bailing here in man coverage. And he ends up getting broken off on this route. Look at how much separation is there when we're about to catch this thing. I think that he's got a long way to go. Now, he does end up getting the pick on that play, a little bit of an opportunist, absolutely. Now, were there some good things? Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a good job from him on this, right? Frictioning that route, coming back to the sidelines with it. There's definitely some good stuff with Darnay Holmes. I think he's got phenomenal hips. I think he's a very good athlete. But there were some situations where I was a little bit worried with what his play showed at UCLA. Now, I do think he's an athletic freak, and I'm sure that he'll find a home, but that was one pick that worried me. But then the Giants come back and they make a pick that just gets me all sorts of excited. We're talking Shane Lemieux, 5th round pick, 150, guard out of Oregon. I love the way this kid plays. I watched a healthy amount of Oregon football games this year, and this dude's just a phenomenal inside zone, wide zone blocker, and I'm sure that he's going to be able to figure out power too. Right, here we are just working on this 3-tech, it looks like, boom, so we end up comboing with that because he spikes across our face. Does a great job working with his feet. Love the strike here. We can see that he's on the inside breastplate of that shoulder pad with that offensive lineman, and we're just going to work him upfield. Great job from Shane Lemieux. I was really fired up about this kid. Here we go again, just working a good zone step, working outside, staying on that inside half, and we're just going to work him to the side. Like, it just good fundamental blocks from him. I saw time and time again. And it's exciting to see. I'm excited to see a kid like that get picked in the 5th round. He deserves some shine, and he gets it there. I really hope that pick works out for the Giants. I believe it will, because I do think they need some help at the guard spot. Moving on to the next pick, couple more here. Cameron Brown out of Penn State. And when we start looking at the defensive side of this draft from the Giants, really what I saw is just dudes who have a great motor. Right? And they're coming in, they're making selfless plays, right? This is a good play from Cam Brown. We're getting counted here from Pittsburgh. Okay, this guard's working out the pull. Cameron Brown's right here. Now, what linebackers are taught to do is to squeeze this gap. And that's exactly what Cam Brown does, right? We notice the pull, we're going to squeeze this thing. Boom. Great job right there, right? We skinny that gap up. We build a wall. Now, if that back bounces it, he's going to bounce to guys coming outside, and you can come off to make that tackle, but you squeeze this gap right here, give him one lane to go in, and we got guys coming to fill. Great job from Cam Brown, and I saw this from the film that I watched. I saw this time and time again. And, more than anything, like I said, the dude's just got a good motor. And that's what I saw with a couple other of these picks from the Giants, is guys that had a great motor who were always coming after the football. Great job shedding the block here, working up and getting in on tackle. Cam Brown did this time and time again, and it was really, really positive to see. I loved everything that we saw about that. Now, moving on to this next pick from the Giants, Carter Coughlin from Minnesota, another dude that I did a little bit of pre-draft scouting on. Smaller dude, interested to see where he ends up. Now, he could be that outside backer that you have on the ball for pass rush situations. He does a good job setting tackles up, right? In this situation against Purdue, working outside, right, to that upfield shoulder, giving that quick stutter step and then cutting this thing back in. Really good job from him. Just got to rip through that and get your hands up, make a play on it. And in that situation, he's giving you a tough passing lane for the quarterback. right? And once again, what's the theme that I see with these defensive guys? It's that motor. Here's a good example of just what his motor is. Working on 78 here, coming across, and once again, just no quit from this guy. And I noticed that from every pick from the Giants, just a consistent work ethic from them. And I think it's really, really important for any defense to have guys like that. Once again, a good pass rush move from Coughlin here. And again, a little bit smaller, but I love this quick little swipe, hitting that elbow with that outside arm, getting that other arm underneath it, that rip, and then we're working to put some pressure on the quarterback. Really good job from him. Now this next pick, TJ Brunson from South Carolina, speed and motor. Man, that's just what I kept noticing from these guys that the Giants picked. Linebacker, like I said, linebacker from South Carolina. Dude's just a workhorse. Once again, we see a little counter from Clemson on this, and Brunson's going to squeeze the gap. Stuff that you like to see, and these are the selfless plays that I'm talking about. Okay, we come down here, boom, we give that quick squeeze. Now we got to work out here and make that tackle. And again, once you get into thee later rounds, obviously we're looking depth guys, not guys who make every single play. But here's an example, right? You're looking at this going, Cam, what'd you put this clip on film for? Why are we watching this? Look at the hustle out of 6 on this thing. Getting upfield, working to make a play on that. Love the angle he's taking. A lot of good things that you see from Brunson, but once again, he's not making every single play, and you're not looking at him going, whoa, why was this guy drafted in the 7th round? It makes sense. Now moving on to another Minnesota guy, Chris Williamson. This dude played a lot of nickel from Minnesota from what I saw. Pretty decent at blitzing from off the ball, right? You get these tight alignments a lot in the league. Maybe they work him into a nickel guy. I don't know. I doubt that he would be starting right away. They have a little bit of depth at corner, but still a guy who could definitely be fighting for a spot once camp rolls around. And like I say in every video, a good preseason, a good camp means a lot to players, especially young bucks like that. And it can turn the tide and really help them get some play time early in their career. Now the last pick from the New York Giants, Tay Crowder out of Georgia, linebacker. Again, love the hustle from this kid, right? And like I said, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's a theme really with how the Giants are drafting defensively, and that's positive to see. Here we go right here. It's going to be a quick screen, hustling, working our butt off, trying to get to that screen, making the play, and you just see this all the time from Tay Crowder. Yeah, but for the most part, this dude's working, trying to get to the ball, taking on blockers, stuff like this, right? Coming up and making a play. The dude played linebacker in the SEC. I can guarantee you he's got some stats and he's got some great film out there to back it up. So with all that being said, guys, I'm the Hook Cam. I do also like to say there was a number of undrafted guys that the Giants signed. Interested to see if any of those guys make the roster. I'll be keeping an eye on it. None of them really stuck out to me. I also didn't have the time to dive into film wholeheartedly and really see what those guys have to offer. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for this video. Overall, I thought the Giants drafted very well. They shored up that offensive line. They got some decent help on defense, and I'm really interested to see where the Giants go from here in the NFC East. That's very up for grabs. So once again, if you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to the Hook Cam as well as to Jackson Kruger Sports. That would mean the world to both of us. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm sure I'll be back with some more draft recap videos here in a little bit, but that's all I got for you guys today, and I will see you next time.